Hello, everyone. Tyler Pyburn here for CMS-Connected. Today, we're talking with Acquia premier partners all over the world, and one of them is Niel Mouton of Wunderman Thompson. For the folks that don't know, give me the cliff version of Wunderman Thompson about the organization and a little bit of your background as well.
Yeah, no, of course. So Wunderman Thompson obviously was a company that's now been the aggregation of a number of different ad agencies, different tech companies, commerce companies, and so forth. So it became Wunderman, then became the merger of Wunderman Thompson and JWT. And we've been sort of acquiring tech companies across the world over the last few years. And we've sort of consolidated all of those into an entity called Wunderman Thompson Technology. Where we previously used to be very much an ad agency, about one third of our global revenue now is actually based on tech and commerce. So of the 20,000 people at Wunderman Thompson, just over 5,000 are technologists. We've got about 50 technology centers globally, 13 of which deliver Drupal and Acquia services across the globe from, Russia to Brazil and Canada to Australia. So yeah, and then basically I'm based in South Africa. We have the privilege of being the global Wunderman Thompson Center of Excellence for Drupal, and just leading standards and offices to deliver sort of global standards in Drupal and Acquia services.
You stole my next question right there about your kind of work with Acquia and Drupal specifically. But talk about now, right? I'll jump ahead a little bit. Talk about now. What's the opportunity like for your customers to deploy the solutions, and why is now the perfect opportunity?
I think a large portion of why now is coming down to experiences. It's coming to what COVID and cookieless future is driving. It's created a catalyst for transformation. So companies now need more than ever to engage on digital channels. People are building brands around digital experiences, not what their TVCs look like or their billboards next to the road. So experience is driving brand. And the opportunity for our clients is to be driving personalized experiences across channels. And obviously, we're helping do that through the use of, the CDP implementation, through the CMS, through apps, through social, and just making sure that brands can engage with their consumers. And consumers take also shapes and sizes, right? So it could be citizens of a government, it could be patients of doctors, it could be consumers of retail brands. And we're just helping our clients, whichever one of those brackets they fit in, just engage with the best possible experience across those different channels.
Now, obviously, this industry moves forward in leaps and bounds, but really, how much has it changed and evolved over the course of the last year, given everything with what's happened in the world?
I saw a stat the other day. It's approximately, when we're speaking to companies, they say about 70% of companies have received increased budgets to drive better experiences, better engagements. And it's not because of the change in tech, but it's the change of consumer behaviors. So while consumers are changing where they're engaging from, on which devices and what time of days, companies are needing to stay very current in how best to provide those experiences to keep sort of long-term engagement, sort of increase customer lifetime value with their brands. And I think the main things around that is people are, there was another figure about 60% of engagements have shifted towards sort of digital channels on growth prior to COVID. And I think everyone's also preparing for a cookieless future where, you're able to engage in a relevant and personal manner, and gathering that data now to ensure that, when we get to a point where you're not able to necessarily capture and use all of that, that we already have it in place and you already have the tech platform to drive that personalization and engagement.
This is all great from a 30,000 foot view, right? But we love to know the stories. We love to know the backgrounds, right? Give me a little a story and anecdote of, a favorite deployment or brand experience with Acquia and why.
There's a few of them at the moment because, as I mentioned, the sort of brand experience very much dependent on who the end user is, right? So I think we've got a global pharma company that sort of went into COVID and, you weren't able to have sales reps hitting the pavement anymore or doing face-to-face sessions, whether it was pharmacists or HCPs. So I think one of the cases we have for a global pharma brand is where we help them sort of create a digital experience for their healthcare professionals. And I think, obviously it's a great client and they were quite mature in their approach to it. So I think in the space of about 3 months, we managed to get about 6,000 HCPs on the platform during COVID lockdown. And we managed to rack up about 9,000 hours of engagement on learning and product material, which, it equates to 90 minutes of engagement per HCP, and I think they were averaging sort of between 20 and 30 minutes over a 6-month period, which was lucky. So to do that on a digital channel with a fantastic experience, it's just active use goes up with great experiences. And to have accomplished that during COVID, where people were saying, actually, experience is not accelerating at the pace we want, but to actually pivot in a way that you open a new channel through which to do that with quite a sort of call it an end user segment, which just wasn't used to digital engagement on that channel for that specific use.
Excellent. Niel Mouton of Wonderman Thompson. Can't say thank you enough for taking time out of your day. Really appreciate it, sir.
Cool. Thank you very much, Tyler. Appreciate it, as always.